I'm sorry, what was that again?
Like, share, and subscribe. My name is Albert.
All right, guys, this is another one I kind of been waiting to get. Not necessarily do the review. I love doing the reviews if it's, just to, number one, content for the channel. But I do get quite a few people that ask me about the Gideons. It's a newer brand, and they consider it budget brands. I don't even want to label them as budget anymore. Yes, they are more budget friendly than Holosuns and Trijicons and stuff like that, and Vortex. But I don't want to consider it and say it's a budget brand, because then automatically you think, oh, it's cheaper. Like, these are made awesome. And this is the one I've been waiting for, because if you shoot competition, maybe 1911s single stack, or just 1911s in general, double stack, some of those guns, or even just guns in general, those types of guns, they have that slimmer slide. So you're kind of limited to the RMSC footprint. And the RMSC footprint is kind of smaller, right? And I think the biggest one that I found, biggest optic I found at the time was RMSC Shield. And a lot of people speak negatively about it, so I never wanted to get one. But it's like, damn, with RMSC, like the only one I know of is a 407, 507K, the Holosun, but they're tiny little windows, right? But Gideon Optics, it looks like they're trying to fill that void or that issue with a competition window size RMSC footprint. And it is a big window. This is a 6 MOA dot. This one's in red, and you can see they do come in red or green. I always go with red because of my color blindness. I can see red a lot better than green. Look at the dimensions here though, 50.6 by 32.4, and the height and the width are both in the 32s, and that's kind of what I'm pointing out. One of their biggest window that I also have is this granite RMR, and that's a 38 by 32. So that 38 at the top is like super wide, but that 32.9 height, and this one is RMSC footprint is 32.7. And then I also just had the Storm with the Delta Point Pro or the Sig Pro footprint, and that one is a 31 by 30. So this RMSC footprint dot is even bigger than that one. So it's like, dang, should I go back to a plate and put this RMSC one on here? But so just a little quick reference on some of their optics. As you can see, I have several because I love trying out their products. But yeah, 6 MOA dot. It takes the 1632 battery. Should be on the side, little battery tray. Auto on motion, sensing illumination, direct mount again to that RMSC footprint. And so let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. You get your cloth, your instructions, and then I already kind of opened this and looked at it. So what I did was almost, I guess I can say all their optics, because I haven't seen one not come with it. They all come with the Picatinny rail adapter if you want to put this on a shotgun or offset mount or backup sight for a rifle or something like that, SBR. So I do like that. That's cool, because I don't think the Holosuns come with that. You got to buy it. And other optics don't come with it as well, but I already removed it from the optic. Of course, you get your screws. This one looks like it comes with maybe 3 or 4 different sets of screws that I can see in there. Tons, and they're all labeled. I like how they're labeled. Some optics just don't label anything. There's just a ton of different screws. And of course, you always get your Torx wrench for the screws, and then you get your little Allen key, your little adjustment tool, and that's about it. And let's take a look at what we came here for. And right away, I see that it is a big window. Like, it is a large window size for RMSC, and it just looks pretty cool. I like the overhang, and not true, but similar to all their designs, they have these recessed cuts that kind of give it a unique look. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool looking. These little grooves. It's not just a plain hood, and it's really light. Again, so here's your battery tray on the side, 1632. So it is the smaller battery versus the 2032, I think it is. Your adjustments here for the elevation, and then your windage here right on this side, and they're pretty audible clicks. I've learned through all their optics. And then let's go ahead and turn this one on. There we go. Nice big 6 MOA dot. And like I've mentioned on the Storm one, I'm probably dropping these two simultaneously. It's like in person, if I'm not looking through the camera, I can tell, and I'm looking through the camera now, the dot appears bigger on the camera. It's not that giant of a dot. I would say it's about half that size, like true to eyes what I'm looking at over here outside the camera. So don't think you're gonna get this big old giant circle. That's just not gonna be correct. That's gonna just like blow out your target. It is smaller than that, but it is, if you're familiar with dot sizes in real life, this is gonna be a 6 MOA dot. And it is a huge window. And what I like about their optics is they go to the edge. I can't remember what other optic, I don't know if it was the Holosun or the Sealy's, but they kind of start, the dot starts to go away right around there. So it's like you're really truly not getting the full window frame, use the whole window frame, I should say. And this one, as you can see, it goes all the way to the edge, up, down, or left or right. So it's not like it starts to wash out before you even get to the center, because in actuality your dot window is a little bit smaller. And then it has almost like these built-in backup sights here. So if you have a front sight, you can probably still co-witness that there. And I think Mike from Gideon Optics has a video on where he paints these orange and gives you like a real quick, aiming system sort of thing. I'll let you guys find his video at Gideon Optics, because I don't remember too much. But man, this is nice. We are gonna mount this, and the reason why I got this RMSC footprint, because like I mentioned, on 1911s, single stack, double stack, they have these very, very tiny slides like this, right? This is gonna go on this TSOS BR9 duty, full 5-inch. Just go ahead and show you guys that we are empty. Nothing there. And let's go ahead and get that trigger squeeze. And as you can see, so it's a really thin footprint. All right, so that 507 or 407K, it's a nice dot, but for competition or people like me that are just blind, we just like those gigantic windows. So I just couldn't wait. When they said they were dropping this giant RMSC window, I must have missed that first stock, because it's been out of stock for like the last month or 2 months. But I saw that they were in stock, so went ahead and grabbed one. And as you can see, so because it's a slimmer design, it does have some overhang in the front and the side in order for them to fit this big window on these thin slides. So you do get some overhang. So if you watch Mike's video on the Judge XL, I think he installed it on the Night Stalker, he mentioned something that it, because that Night Stalker has a flat slide at the top, and he says it flans out here, right, because it's a straight, like almost like a flat cut. And so the overhang goes right on there. And he mentions that some of these normal slides with the curvature at the top, this may hit this overhang here, and that could be an issue. And he mentioned that if you're putting it on a TSOS, and then maybe other companies have it, but TSOS is, I think they're imported through SDS Arms. You can call them and they'll give you a RMSC footprint plate to a RMSC, so the same footprint, but what it does is it rises the optics so it doesn't hit. So I was worried about that, and before I even called them to order this plate, I just did like dry fit and just basically put it on here. And what I noticed on this particular model, that the overhang is not an issue. So as you can see, there's already a little piece of light there, so it's not going to hit. Once I mount this is going to go right on. So what he was saying is some of the bigger curvatures are a little higher than that, and it hits this overhang in the front, and so it's basically lifting the optic and you're not able to mount it. But as you guys can see here, when I do a dry fit, and I don't even see any daylight here. Once I screw this down, it's not going to hit the optic. I got a little bit of room there, so that's going to be pretty awesome that I don't need to put an adapter. I'm just going to go ahead and mount this guy right on here. So I'm going to play with the screws real quick. I know YouTube is getting a little weird about installs, so I'm just going to cut to this already on it, and I'll just let you know what screws they were. Right, guys, so got it mounted, and I'm going to tell you what screws to use, and then there's a little this is a caveat to it. So the screws you're going to want to use are these M3s by 0.5, and if you go to Mike's Gideon Optics video, he has a Judge XL install, and he talks about this issue, particularly with the TSOS, and I think a lot of these 1911, 2011 slide designs are a little bit thinner. So it's going to be on more than just his, because obviously this is mine is different. He did it on a Night Stalker. Problem with this is that these screws, the ones that fit it, are too long because the slide depth is a lot thinner. I think he mentions they're maybe 3 to 4 millimeters, and these screws are 5. So he's got a video on there, which around halfway through it, he tells you how to fix the problem, which in a short story is you're going to need to have a Dremel, and you're going to need to cut some of these lengths off of these threads off of this screw to shorten the length of it. That way, as you can see, I've got them down as far as I can get them without trying to strip anything. It's under 13 pounds of torque, and it's still not enough. So I'm going to have to go and Dremel these screws a little shorter to solve this problem. That way they don't bottom out and they're just going to keep turning and maybe do some damage internally. So I'll let you guys watch this video, but essentially you're just going to Dremel this and cut off a couple threads, and it needs to go back on, and this will be on there super tight. But again, once these is on really tight, I'm not going to need an adapter plate for this. As you can see, the overhang is above the slide, just barely. So it's not going to hit that overhang. We should be good to go. But when it's done, it's going to look nice on this pistol. Nice big window. So I'm not going to get into the cutting, but I am going to have to cut these so that way they fit nice and easy. But as you can see, this dot is clear. The window is gigantic. Looks like it belongs on this pistol. And then we'll go ahead and zero it in, take it to the range, get some footage. And who knows, maybe I'll pull this puppy out in a competition just to see how this window performs in competition, since it is big window. I've never shot this in competition. As you can see, I don't even think we have 100 or 200 rounds to this pistol. We liked it because it shot smooth. So maybe try it out. We'll see. All right, so after a little bit of work, we shorten these screws. That way they don't bottom out. Again, they are the M3.05 5mm. But as Mike from Gideon Optics pointed out, the T-South slides are about 3 to 4 millimeters. So this is the original screw. They send you 3, so I knocked off a few of those threads there. I'm sure there's a little bit more math involved, but I just kind of shortened out several threads. Should still be good. We did lose some of the thread locker, so I'm going to go ahead and put some fresh blue Loctite on there. Blue 242 is what I use. If you're doing this a little bit yourself, make sure you smooth out the ends. Make sure there's no shards or crooked angle of the screws. Make sure you kind of have a nice little flat edge there. This one's starting to get tight on me. There it goes. And then I switch over to the torque wrench. So once it gets a little hand tight, I don't like, I don't do that number. I just do it to where it kind of stops moving on its own. See, it's not wiggling anymore. And then we go ahead and get the digital on there. So it's 10, 11, 12, 13.7. I like doing about 13.5, 13.7. Same thing on the other side, 12, 13.8. And not like before. Get that clear. No wiggling. It's nice and tight. And again, you can see the space between the overhang and the slide. So we are good to go there. So we're gonna let that dry. Take it to the range. And come back. Zero this in, and you see it's brighter, and getting lighter. Nice. And power on is a up or a brightness setting up, and then if you hold down the back button, all their optics are the same. After about 3 seconds, it turns off. But there we go, turned it back on. It's a nice big window. Now you got an RMSC to take to the range. There we go, back in focus. We're taking competition. As you can see, these T-Souths come with really high sights, backup sights, so you can see that dot in the front. So you definitely can co-witness with these. They have such a low profile, so that direct mount helps a lot. If there was a plate involved, then it would raise it just enough to where you couldn't co-witness. So that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and go to the range and see how this bad boy works. See if it's good for our vision. We can pick up the target. yards. And then we went out to 10 yards. This one I know I flinched, but we got several within 1 inch. There's about 5 of them here and a couple maybe an inch and a half. And that's at 30 feet. So the dot is good.
I can't get a good enough grip. Like, I can't get a tight enough grip on it.
Oh, we got Tiny going. You going back to the center?
Heck yeah, man.
We only got 2 in there. All right, guys, we're back from the range. I like the optic. It's a nice big window. Let me go ahead and show you guys that we are clear. See that there? Nothing there. Empty. Get that trigger out the way. But I love the RMSC big window. That's one of the reasons why I went ahead and chose to grab this, because his RMSCs just are not that big. But the dot, again, in real life, it's smaller than that. I'm looking at it here, and then through the camera, it looks bigger on camera. But it's a nice, vivid, bright dot, able to pick it up. As you can see, after we had some initial problems, we put it on there, and of course, they're not always zero to every gun. It was shooting way low. So we had to make some, quite a few adjustments before we're on target. But once we're on target, it was working just fine. Normally pistols for review or just for, you know, range use or something like that, we usually just zero at about 10 to 12 yards. And then at 30 feet, I mean, we're hitting pretty close to bullseyes within a couple of inches. So really good groups. The dot works great. I will say one thing, and let me make sure, yeah, not loose or anything. On those adjustments, it started like just out of the box, it was super low, and I had to go up. And I noticed when I made my final adjustments, I literally maxed out the up. So I'm gonna message them about that. Like, I don't think it should be maxing out all the way to the top. Yeah, so if it was still off, I just had no more room for any more adjustments. That was kind of crazy. So I'm gonna have to message them about that. But it is zeroed and it's on target. You guys saw it. I'll probably put some more use through it just to see how it goes. But I mean, I've already had several of these Gideons. I haven't had any problems with like them fuzzing out or blinking like I've heard some other brands will start after a while, or batteries going out. I think I've had some for close to a year and they're still running. But yeah, not a lot to say other than RMSC King. I think I like it. This is the biggest RMSC I've had. It's bigger than the Justice 2, I think, on the Swamp Fox that I have. Much bigger window. So for competition shooters, I know on these RMSC, we're either stuck to using crazy adapters for RMR footprint, or just, you know, whatever is available on RMSC if you want to do direct mount slide. But now this is another viable option. Nice big giant window in the RMSC footprint. So a lot of these 19, 20, 11 slides, curved, or even small carry guns, if you want to carry a big window, I liked it. I mean, I like that it goes edge to edge and everything like that. Nice clear window and dot. But you guys saw the zeroing and the results. We were able to get good shots with it. So any questions or comments, go ahead and put it down below. And as always, till the next one, appreciate y'all.